Waterstones, formerly Waterstones, is a British book retailer that operates 275 stores and employs around 3,500 staff in the UK and Europe as of February 2014. Established in 1982 by Tim Waterstone, after whom the company was named, the bookseller expanded rapidly until being sold in 1993 to W.H. Smith. Bought again in 1998 by Waterstone, EMI Advent International, the company was taken under the umbrella of HMV Group, which later merged the Dillons and Ottakar's brands into the company. Following several poor sets of results for the group, HMV put the chain up for sale. In May 2011, it was announced that A&NN Capital Fund Management, owned by Russian billionaire Alexander Mamut, had bought the chain and appointed James Daunt as managing director. As well as the Waterstones brand, the company owns the London bookseller Hat Cards, and Irish shop Hodges Figgis. An average-sized Waterstones store sells a range of approximately 30,000 individual books, as well as stationery and e-book readers. The bookseller has concession agreements with Costa Coffee, Starbucks and Paperchase in some stores, and since 2012, has introduced its own Kafar copyright W brand. History and developments. Formation and W.H. Smith, 1982 – 1998 – The chain was founded by Tim Waterstone after he was fired by W.H. Smith. Waterstone had failed to establish W.H. Smith in the United States. Taking the £6,000 redundancy payout, he set up his first store in Old Brompton Road, Kensington, with the ambition of creating a different breed of bookshop, using techniques he had seen in the United States. He used literary authors in front of store displays and employed highly literate staff. The model proved successful and the chain set about expanding its store portfolio. By 1989, however, W.H. Smith had taken a controlling stake in the chain. W.H. Smith took over full control in 1993 for £9 million. Under W.H. Smith, Waterstones pursued international expansion, opening its first U.S. store in Boston in 1991, as well as further domestic expansion a year opening its 100th UK store in the former chapel in Reading. The chain was part of the eventual dismantling of the Netbook agreement, when in 1991, following a promotion by then rivals Dillons, the company decided to pursue its own discounting promotion on selected titles. By 1997, the agreement had collapsed and been declared illegal. HMV Group, 1998 to (2011). Following an attempt by Tim Waterstone in 1997 to buy the entire W.H. Smith Group, W.H. Smith sold the Waterstones chain for £300 million to HMV Media plc, a joint venture between EMI and Advent International. This included high street brands HMV and rival Dillons, creating an international entertainment retailer. Waterstone was appointed chairman of the group but stood down in 2001, citing concerns for the way the company was being run. He was replaced by Alan Giles. A year later, all Dillon stores were rebranded as Waterstones, with some sold to rival Ottakars, making the brand defunct. The chain had also begun pulling out of its U.S. overseas venture. Waterstones launched the Waterstones Books Quarterly magazine in 2001, containing book reviews and author interviews. In the same year, the bookseller's online operation, Waterstones.co.uk, was franchised to Amazon.com, with the company expressing a desire to concentrate on its high street and campus stores. The move resulted in the loss of 50 jobs. In 2003, Waterstones announced it was supporting Dyslexia Action as its chosen charity, helping to raise awareness and understanding for dyslexia. In 2006, Giles stepped down from his position and was replaced by Jerry Johnson as managing director of Waterstones and Simon Fox as group CEO. In April 2006, following two bids by Permira for the group, Tim Waterstone attempted to buy back the company from HMV for £256 million, but later withdrew his offer, specifying the conditions set by HMV were too punitive to accept. A strategic review in September saw Waterstones pull out of its franchise agreement with Amazon to relaunch its online business, Waterstones.com, independently. the chain also began to pilot a loyalty program in southwest England and Wales. The scheme was successful, launching nationally as the Waterstones card across its entire store portfolio. Waterstones piloted a brand refresh exercise in selected stores, beginning with Manchester's Arndale Centre in 2007. On November 19, 2007, the chain closed its first branch on Old Brompton Road. Following a consultation, the company's supply chain was overhauled in 2008 with the implementation of a 150,000 square feet warehouse and distribution centre, located in Burton-upon-Trent. Existing direct-to-store deliveries from suppliers were replaced by a centralized warehouse capable of receiving merchandise and sorting an estimated 70 million books per year, and 200 staff were made redundant by the process. In September 2008, Waterstones began selling the Sony Reader in an agreement which saw the booksellers' branches and Sony Centre stores stock the Reader exclusively for 2 weeks after its release. Waterstones.com began to supply e-books in the EPUB format. In November 2009, Waterstones moved into second-hand bookselling in a partnership with Alice, setting up an online reselling tool called Waterstones Marketplace, part of Waterstones.com. In January 2010, HMV Group announced that Waterstones like-for-like sales over the Christmas period were down 8.5% on the previous year. This culminated in the resignation of Managing Director Jerry Johnson with immediate effect. He was replaced by Development Director Dominic Myers, who was Managing Director of the British academic book-selling chain Blackwell's until 2005. Myers joined HMV in 2006 to oversee the integration of Ottakars into the chain. In response to the decline in sales, he implemented a 3-year plan in which branches were tailored to their local market alongside a rejuvenation of the company brand and an increase in range. As part of these changes, Waterstones implemented new branding in May 2010, developed by agency Venture 3. The company also moved to support the Rainbow Trust, which provides support to children with life-threatening and terminal illnesses and their families, in the same year. After an announcement that profits would be at the lower end of analysts' forecasts due to falling sales and a share price fall of 20%, HMV Group indicated its intention to close a number of Waterstones branches in January 2011. These stores' closures, including 2 in Dublin, Republic of Ireland and 9 others across the United Kingdom, occurred in February 2011. Further branch closures in Luton, Dorking, Lancaster University, Harrods, Gateshead and Norwich Arcade were completed by the end of 2011. Alexander Mamut and James Daunt, 2011. Present equals. In May 2011, HMV Group announced the sale of Waterstones to A&NN Capital Fund Management, a fund controlled by Russian businessman Alexander Mamut for £53 million. The takeover was welcomed by publishers as a step forward to re-establishing a proper physical presence. On June 29, 2011, the sale of Waterstones was completed and approved by the vast majority of shareholders at an emergency general meeting. Mamut appointed James Daunt, founder of Daunt Books, as managing director, and a board of directors was announced in October 2011, including Miranda Curtis as chairman. In September 2011, the bookseller announced that it intended to drop its 3-for-2 deal on books after a decade in place. The offer was replaced with a bespoke offer, based on branches choosing their own pricing structures from available discounts. In January 2012, the company announced that it would be moving away from the branding developed in 2010 by agency Venture 3, and reverting to its original logo. This involved the removal of the apostrophe from its name, saying it would be a more versatile and practical spelling. This decision received media coverage, in which the company was subject to criticism. John Richards, of the Apostrophe Protection Society, said that the change was just plain wrong, and grammatically incorrect, while the move sparked outrage on Twitter, involving debate on whether the move was grammatically incorrect or not. James Daunt expressed Waterstones without an apostrophe is, in a digital world of URLs and email addresses, a more versatile and practical spelling. Linguist David Crystal on his blog added, "If Waterstones wants to become Waterstones, that's up to the firm. It's nothing to do with expressing possession or plurality or anything to do with meaning. In the same month, Waterstones confirmed plans to open a Russian-language bookshop in its Piccadilly branch, intending to stock 5,000 titles, with the shop being entirely staffed of Russian-speaking booksellers. The concession, named the Russian Bookshop, opened in March 2012. Following a decision in late 2011 to scrap an e-reading offer in branch, it was announced in May 2012 that Waterstones would be selling the Amazon Kindle across its estate. James Daunt launched the new agreement with Amazon, stating that Waterstones would be offering e-reading services and offer Kindle digital devices throughout the company's branches and on its website, with an intention to make the Kindle experience better. This announcement was received with surprise across the book industry, as it had been suggested that Waterstones was developing a partnership with Barnes & Noble to launch the Nook in the UK, or that the company was developing its own device. But Daunt ultimately rejected other avenues, as Waterstones would have been out of the market before their implementation. It was also announced in May 2012 that the company would begin a refurbishment plan, with Mamut investing tens of millions of pounds to fund the refit of a planned 100 stores before the end of the year. The plan saw the introduction of Wi-Fi into shops, reorganization of shop sections and space-dedicated areas for Kindle devices, and a number of own-brand coffee shops called Cafar Copyright W. The Cafar Copyright W brand was trialed in the Sutton branch, with an expressed aim for around 130 shops over a 3-year period to be fitted with the Cafar copyright. The announcement also noted the introduction of a click-and-collect service. The Amazon Kindle officially launched in branch on October 25, 2012, with an outdoor and press advertising campaign promoting the launch, with the Kindle Fire and Kindle Paperwhite model going on sale for the first time in the UK along with older models. The Kindles were tailored with Waterstones screensavers, which led to some complaints and customers attempting to return their devices. In response, the company issued a statement that they believed the screensaver does not constitute advertising and differs substantially to the advertising-supported Kindles available to the US market. We apologize that this change was made without consultation, and hope it does not detract from or alter your reading experience. The release of the Kindle coincided with a relaunch of the company's brand in the same month, pushing the message that the chain was the nation's leading bookshop, and producing an exclusive anthology, the Waterstones Red Anthology, to help promote the shops. By the end of 2012, the Waterstones estate had shrunk to 288 stores, with commercial reasons given for the closure of branches in Bromsgrove, Stevenage, Watford, Fleet Street, High Holborn and Epsom among others, with staff being redeployed where possible. In 2012, Daunt stated that future expansion was being considered, based on the performance of the company. In 2013, Waterstones partnered with the University of Derby to launch a professional qualification program for its staff. By 2014, the chain began to open new stores, with locations in Ringwood and Blackburn. In July 2014 the company opened the Southwold Bookshop, its first branch to be without Waterstones branding. Takeovers. Dillons acquired in 1995 by the EMI Group. Dillons was the UK's second largest bookseller behind Waterstones and was the book-selling arm of EMI's retail division, which included HMV. Following the demerger of Thorn and EMI in 1996, the retail arm was divested from the EMI portfolio within a year and spun off into the HMV Media Group, an investment venture between EMI Group and Advent International Private Equity Group. This venture included HMV, Dillons and Waterstones, combining to make an international entertainment retailer of over 500 stores. Following a rebuff takeover attempt in 1997 of W. H. Smith, Tim Waterstone became part of the deal and by May 1998, following the £801 million deal completion, became chairman of the group, with CEO Alan Giles retaining overall control. All Dillon stores were incorporated within the Waterstones brand by 1998. Ottakars. In September 2005 HMV Group began attempts to buy rival book chain Ottakars. This alarmed publishers and authors who hoped the Office of Fair Trading would refer the takeover bid to the Competition Commission. In March 2006, The Competition Commission cleared Waterstones for takeover of the Ottakars, stating the takeover would not result in a substantial lessening of competition, and is not likely to affect book prices, range of titles offered or quality of service. Through extensive research they also found that contrary to widespread perception, Waterstones, like Ottakars, operates a book buying system which mixes central and local input on stock selection. On May 31, 2006, Waterstones announced that it had successfully negotiated the takeover of Ottakars. HMV Chief Executive Alan Giles said, "A combined Waterstones and Ottakars business will create an exciting, quality bookseller, able to respond better to the increasingly competitive pressures of the retail market." Ottakars chairman Philip Dunn said, "Over the last year the book market has undergone a significant change with new levels of competition from the supermarkets and online retailers impacting all specialist booksellers and in particular those with insufficient scale to compete on equal terms." Following the takeover, HMV announced that they would be rebranding every branch of Ottakars as a Waterstones. In July 2006, a conversion program was initiated and within 4 months, every Ottakars store had been relaunched as a Waterstones and had seen the loss of 100 jobs. Books etc. In August 2008, the now defunct Borders chain agreed to sell 8 Books etc. stores to Waterstones for an undisclosed sum. The takeover, which represented 34,000 square feet of retail space and incurred no staff losses, increased Waterstones' presence within London to nearly 50 stores, crucially, in areas that are not represented by Waterstones bookshops. The stores, located in Fleet Street, London Wall, Holborn, Wandsworth, Uxbridge, Finchley Road, and Canary Wharf were rebranded and merged into the Waterstones chain by September 2008. Ethical standards. Tax Tim Waterstone and James Daunt have been critical of tax avoidance by Amazon.com in the British press. Amazon has received sustained scrutiny for the amount of its overall sales that are reported by its UK subsidiary, in comparison to those processed offshore in Luxembourg to avoid UK tax. In the 2012-13 financial year, Amazon paid a £3.2 million in tax on sales of a £4.2 billion and received a £2.5 million in grants from the government. In the same period, it was revealed that Waterstones paid a £11.9 million in tax, despite an operating loss of a £25.4 million and sales of a £410.4 million. In a report on tax avoidance in the book industry, the magazine Ethical Consumer argued that A&NN Capital Fund Management, Waterstones' parent company, was located in Bermuda and this was likely to be for tax avoidance purposes. In response to this, Waterstones issued a clarification on their website reading as a UK-registered and domiciled business, Waterstones fulfills all its tax obligations. This will include both the payment and reporting of all necessary UK taxes, as set out under UK tax legislation. Unregistered trademark in the 2013-14 financial period, the first full year under A&NN, Waterstones reported sales to Companies House of a £398.5 million and an operating loss of a £12.2 million. Environmental impact. Waterstones has worked with the British Safety Council to consider its environmental impact, including factors beyond its carbon footprint. After a 2008 audit, the Council awarded Waterstone a unregistered trademark S3 out of a possible 5 stars for environmental impact. Awards. Waterstones maintains and supports various literary awards, including the Waterstones Children's Laureate, the Waterstones Children's Book Prize, the Waterstones 11, the Guardian First Book Award and the Pushkin House Russian Book Prize. The company has also received various industry and consumer awards. British Book Industry Awards. The Bookseller Industry Awards, formerly the Bookseller Retail Awards, are run by the trade magazine The Bookseller. In 2008, the company was lauded for the success of its loyalty card, Writer's Year promotion, online growth and its get-selling bookseller training. Headline Bookselling Company of the Year, High Street Retailer of the Year, Nielsen Book Marketing Campaign of the Year. In 2009, the company took away awards for high street retailing and in praise of the Liverpool One branch manager Ian Critchley, who was applauded by the judges for his outstanding work in launching the new shop. High Street Retailer of the Year, Wiley Manager of the Year. In 2010, bookseller Claire Boothby was recognized for her accomplishments at her branch in Dorking. Sue Butterworth Young Bookseller of the Year. In 2011, Waterstones was recognized for its expertise in children's bookselling. Osborne Children's Bookseller of the Year. Customer satisfaction equals. At the beginning of 2008, Waterstones.com was awarded a silver badge for the Best Books Website category at the BT Online Excellence Awards. In a survey of 96 British chains in January 2009, Waterstones scored 69% for a which customer satisfaction survey on products, price, staff and shopping environment and whether they would recommend the shop to a friend, placing the chain in joint 8th position. In May 2011, another survey commissioned by Which? On customer satisfaction of 100 high street brands showed that Waterstones had maintained its position in the top 10 shops with a score of 77%, placing it in 7th position. Waterstones also fared well in an online survey conducted for the consumer show Secret Shopper on Channel 4, hosted by Mary Porters. Out of 101 high street brands, Waterstones emerged as an early frontrunner and has maintained its top position since. In 2012, Waterstones won the inaugural Sportsbook Retailer of the Year category of the British Sportsbook Awards. Children's Book Prize Waterstones continued the Ottakar's Children's Book Prize under its own brand and since 2005, the Waterstones Children's Book Prize has attempted to uncover hidden talent in children's writing by awarding authors with no more than 2 previously published books. 2014 Rooftoppers by Catherine Rundle, 2013 Ketchup Clouds by Annabelle Pitcher, 2012 The Pirates Next Door by Johnny Duddle, 2011 Artichoke Hearts by Sita Brahmachari, 2010 The Great Hamster Massacre by Katie Davis, 2009 The 13 Treasures by Michelle Harrison, 2008 Ways to Live Forever by Sally Nichols, 2007 Dark Side by Tom Becker, 2006 The Diamond of Drury Lane by Julia Golding, 2005 The Cry of the Isomark by Stuart Hill. Waterstones is also the main sponsor of the Waterstones Children's Laureate, previously sponsored by Ottakars. The 2011 Euro 2013 role saw the position carry the Waterstones branding, with the company stating it was upweighting its activity and supporting the role in stores and online in different ways throughout the year and beyond. The Waterstones 11 set up in 2011, the Waterstones 11 was created to promote debut literary fiction from new authors being published in the year ahead. Books were chosen from a list of 100 submitted by publishers, and were announced in January 2011 with in-store and online support, as well as a media campaign for the final 11. The inaugural 11 included the Orange Prize winner The Tiger's Wife by Tar copyright Wobrate, Man Booker Prize nominee Pidgin English, by Stephen Kellman and the Edinburgh International Book Festival First Book Award winner When God Was a Rabbit, by Sarah Winman. The last list was announced in January 2013, as it was scrapped in January 2014. Locations: Waterstones has academic and high street stores in Europe including the United Kingdom, Republic of Ireland, and in the Netherlands and Belgium. Some branches in the company are located in buildings of architectural and historical interest. Flagship Superstores, its flagship store on Piccadilly, formerly the Simpsons of Piccadilly department store notable for its 1930s modernist architecture, is the largest shop in the Waterstones estate and claimed to be the largest bookstore in Europe. The main academic branch, formerly the flagship store of Dillons, is located on Gower Street, between University College London and the Student Central, and promoted as Europe's largest academic bookstore. Aside from these branches, Waterstones operates a number of large stores which are set over multiple floors. Waterstones refer to these stores as superstores. Piccadilly, London, a Euro flagship branch with 6 floors and an estimated 8.5 miles of shelving. In 2012, the head office of the company was moved to the store. Waterstones also owns the large Hat Cards bookshop on the same road. Gower Street, London a Euro academic branch with 5 floors and 5 miles of shelving, Deansgate, Manchester a Euro 3 floors, with over 100,000 books in stock. Milsom Street, Bath a Euro 3 floors, with over 55,000 books in stock. La Scala Cinema, Sorchire Hall Street, Glasgow a Euro 5 floors, set in a former cinema, Bridlesmith Gate, Nottingham a Euro 4 floors, with concessions, large stores, Broad Street, Reading, formerly Broad Street Independent Chapel, New Street, Birmingham, a Grade II listed former Midland Bank building, designed by Edward Holmes, High Street, Birmingham, trading on 6 floors, Fishgate, Preston, formerly Booth's Ornate Grocery and Head Office, St Margaret's Street, Canterbury, the basement has a display of the buried remains of a Roman bathhouse, Wool Exchange, Bradford, Emerson Chambers, Newcastle upon Tyne, Dolphin and Anchor, West Street, Chichester, West End Princes Street, Edinburgh, the Carlton Cinema, Swansea, the Tontines Building, Parliament Row, Stoke-on-Trent, Corn Exchange, Lincoln, Corn Market Street, Oxford, Midsummer Place, Milton Keynes, High Street, Worcester. See also, HMV Group. References. External links, official website, Waterstones on Twitter, Waterstones on Facebook, Rainbow Trust Children's Charity.